Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Anthony Kazazis, and I am the director of the NYC Network Group as well as the NYC Real Estate Expo. And I want to thank those who are coming on to view live, and of course the many that are streaming it live as well. We basically, there is going to be no Q&A. However, Ed's team will be sending out a thank you letter to everyone who registered, as well as the streamers. And he will be sending out contact information on how to contact Ed at NuBridge. So if you have any questions, and of course, Ed is going to be submitting out information, marketing information to all of those in the future. So NuBridge is definitely an interesting company to really get to know. And so we're going to get into it. And again, I want to thank you all that are here, that did jump on, that are coming in live and as well as streaming. Today we have Ed Ainbinder, EVP National Production Manager for NuBridge, who will introduce NuBridge Commercial Lending and discuss both permanent and bridge lending in an endemic environment. Ed Ainbinder, EVP of Production at NuBridge Commercial Lending. With more than 25 years experience, Ed has an accomplished career track record in delivering and sustaining revenue and profit gains with highly competitive real estate finance market. He aggressively identifies opportunities, develops focus, and provides tactical business solutions. With substantial residential and commercial real estate experience, Ed contributes a wealth of knowledge with proven success record in loan originations and sales and leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Ed Ainbinder.
Hey, thank you, Anthony. I appreciate you giving that very nice introduction. And I'll only make one correction. It's Ainbinder. That's okay, though. Everyone hacks it up a little bit. But,
I'm sorry, Ed.
It's okay. But thank you so much for having me this morning. I look forward to introducing everyone and everyone that's joined us live. And that we'll view in the future without boring them with gory details on why we're so unique and important to the current and future lending environment nationwide. So, as you said, I am the Executive Vice President of Production for NuBridge Commercial Lending. We are a nationwide direct lender, and today's theme, as you mentioned, is partially about lending in a post-pandemic endemic environment. And it's ironic because NuBridge really evolved because of the pandemic. And in the height of the pandemic, we were formerly under a different name. And as everyone knows, not to reiterate or rehash what happened in the height of COVID, many lenders stopped lending in all facets of lending and have also taken a different approach in the endemic as well as during the pandemic to asset classes in commercial real estate that are financed for a variety of reasons. And we came about when our past parent company, like many in the non-QM and fix and flip markets and DSCR rental program markets, all came to a halt with lending because there was no place and to sell those loans as the capital markets stopped buying them. Well, NuBridge now is a true portfolio lender. So to a certain extent, it provides us with an opportunity to be somewhat immune to those catastrophic events that may affect the market at times. I heard a great quote a few weeks ago, and I loved it. And I'm going to steal it from the gentleman that put it out there. I'll credit him later. But he said, lenders are like umbrellas. When it's raining, they're nowhere to be found. When it's sunny out, they're all over. Well, I will just tell you, when it was pouring rain in the middle of this pandemic is when we at NuBridge evolved as a company. and started lending in September of 2020. Our primary product was a direct result of attacking the trials and tribulations. That would be bridge money, the trials and tribulations that were affecting the commercial real estate market. And those are obvious. The enormous amount of vacancies and having to repurpose properties. We all, not to once again rehash, saw what happened when businesses were shut down. Unfortunately, many went out. Many never could reopen. Landlords were scrambling in need of working capital for not only repurposing properties for a different reason, because we also allow, and I'll go into it a little more in depth shortly, rehab money, as well as we are a palatable rates and terms alternative to going very hard money when you need quick working capital. So, excuse me. So I heard that quote the other day and I said, gosh, that fits us to a T. So we rolled out and in our first year during the pandemic, did almost $250 million in bridge money. We're well past that now. The biggest feature for us was getting out the word nationwide that we're back. It's the same trusted executive management team and company that you knew before, but with a different name and a more aggressive, more unique product and program. We are flush with capital. We have a very aggressive and supportive parent company. And that's what put us back in the market when we were afforded that availability. When most, as we say, were looking for umbrellas, we were able to afford them in a pandemic. So as much as I hate to make this a statement or compare it, the pandemic, or for lieu of a better comparison, COVID for us was almost a blessing, as it opened up a whole new lending arena for us and for us to afford and offer the country nationwide. And what is it that we do at NuBridge? Well, I have 10 regional sales managers nationally that each have their geographic territories, so we can deliver the best possible service to loan originators and commercial brokers throughout the country. We cover every state but North and South Dakota. Okay, and we on average close our loans in anywhere from 14 to 21 days, which is pretty unique. And as I like to say, we more times than not are a eliminator or alleviator for going hard or private money with softer terms. And as I mentioned earlier, as a portfolio lender, it gives us enormous flexibility to work with brokers and loan originators as their partner to customize loan terms on a deal-by-deal basis. So there is a parameter or a spectrum where our pricing falls in our bridge loans, which are interest-only loans, and I'll go off on a bit of those details in a moment. But I can't emphasize enough how the current setup, being a portfolio lender, enables us to make swifter and quicker decisions on deals, not to mention the technology that I'll go into later on that we have that is amazing and was extremely well received by everyone that's seen it thus far, and is to commercial what desktop underwriting was to residential. That portfolio lender that we are now, I can't emphasize enough, enables us to customize and work and do carve outs on loan docs to make a transaction that makes sense for everyone. We are probably one of the most transparent commercial lenders. I'd be willing to bet we are the most transparent commercial lender you'll see nationwide, once again, including tertiary markets. That's rural markets, okay? And by the way, in our PERM program, which I'll mention later, there's no hit to loan to value or price for doing a multifamily or a light industrial property in a PERM, in a rural or tertiary market, as we call it. So flexibility and speed are key, along with service. And first and foremost, I just mentioned PERM loans, but our primary product is bridge, okay? And as I said, we came out with that bridge program to really attack the immediate needs of the commercial lending space during the pandemic and as it exists now, because as you saw the topic, endemic lending in an endemic environment, okay, well, guess what? Things have changed there, and there is a new perspective on, for example, office and retail. And I kind of giggle because I'm an old school guy when it comes to, I like to see who's shutting the lights off as a former collegiate and professional athlete. You know, the first guy into the locker room, the last guy to leave, first guy in the weight room, the last guy there, you know, who's burning the midnight oil. And as I told my own children, who at one point said, "No, Dad, it's changed. No one's going back to the office anymore." I'm like, not happening. And we're already seeing that uptick. Obviously, in certain markets, it has, let's just say, been a slower return to the office space, but it's not going away. You know, we're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater here. And yes, we have found that certain people can work remotely, or their schedules have been reduced to 3 times. But, you know, nationwide, some of the most recent statistics showed office space leasing on an uptick. And I mentioned office retail, okay? Everyone thought that retail was done, okay? No one's ever gonna do anything but go on a mouse and click and buy from that little company called Amazon. But as I mentioned previously, my own children quickly found out, and I should have made a wager with them, that they recently had to move closer to a large city, and in that large city, because they have to be back in their office now. So I don't think it's been changed forever in that sense. There'll always be office space, there'll always be retail space. Yeah, there's been modifications, it'll be slower coming back. And I mentioned these 2 asset classes because when it was raining, as I previously mentioned about umbrellas, we were lending full bore on these asset classes without discriminating against them. And our property types that we lend on nationwide are mixed use, multifamily, light industrial, warehouse, office, retail, self-storage, and mobile home parks. There are other property types that we will entertain on a case-by-case basis. Our typical loan amount is $1 million to $10 million, but as a courtesy, we'll go down to $500K on both our bridge and PERM product, even though we advertise $1 million and up, okay? And we'll go above 10 on a case-by-case basis. Everyone seems to be aggressive on multifamily. That goes without saying. We approached all those asset classes, and as I said, without discriminating against office and retail, when your traditional lenders, banks, federal credit unions, were running for the hills, okay? And I recently spoke at a conference where they said, "Ed, can you give us as originators, two main tips for originators in this room. And I said, that's easy. Number one is know your customer and control them. Drive the bus with your customer. We'll drive the bus with you and show you how to structure your deal. And number two was know your lender. Know Ed. Know Mike, my rep in Florida, if you're in Florida. Know Stu in Pennsylvania or Alex in California. Know what we at NuBridge do and that we are reliable. And as we call it, a non-bank lender, it enables us a lot more or tremendously more flexibility and navigations of not only loan closing times, but documentation reduction and all the other things that annoy you when you go to a typical bank. Okay, time frames, forcing people to open accounts and maintain minimum balance, environmental reports, forcing you to use their title company. We allow you as a broker to choose the title company as long as it's one of the major underwriters that you work with. So I can't emphasize enough. I keep going back to flexibility, non-bank lender, and portfolio lender. And not only with myself, most non-bank lenders, and especially us, enjoy that flexibility. And that's what enables us to do so much business. So I would just tell you the bridge product, vacant, unstabilized, non-cash flowing commercial buildings. That's our bread and butter on those 8 asset classes that I mentioned previously. Mixed use, multifamily, light industrial, warehouse, office, retail, self-storage, and mobile home parks with loan to values to 75%. And basically no limits on things like cash out. And I like to give an example. During the pandemic, okay, in the height of it, a retail shopping center where a borrower also was in the middle of a construction project and needed working capital of $6 million to finish that project. We did a refinance, cash out, $6 million to go finish the other project because the construction lender pulled out. Thinking what? Oh, no one's going to a hotel ever again. Well, look at the recent statistics with travel, okay, and with hotel occupancy. Obviously, you have the pent-up demand, but people want to go places. People are going to live their lives. So that deal was on a retail shopping center. I would challenge anyone to show me the lender that would do that. And it was single digit, non-recourse, closed in 11 business days. And the broker made very, very nice fees on that. And by the way, we do not cap originators or loan offices on their fees. So, we also protect them. And also there is no license required with us. We don't require any licensing nationwide except for California. That is the only state. So you can broker loans in any one of the other 46 states, 47 states. So some more specifics on the bridge product. Working capital, cash out, rehab money. We will give you the funds to rehab light to moderate. We don't do vacant land. We don't do heavy construction. We've picked up numerous projects where they were 80, 75% complete, and we finished the lipstick. So light to moderate rehab is fine. And that's good on both acquisition as well as refinance. No financials. We do non-recourse. We don't even pull credit on the owner of the entity. So when we say non-recourse, there's no personal guarantee, as most of you know what non-recourse is. There's no personal guarantee, there's no financials, It's truly based on the explanation and the asset of what's going on. And that's the biggest thing with bridge. To a certain degree, we'll entertain any scenario, how ugly, but tell us that ugliness up front. We do deals with hair on them. We do deals that are ugly. Okay. And those rates are still palatable, from 7.99 to 10% on average, interest only. And we offer it 12, 18, and 24 months. But the biggest mistake you can make is not being upfront with our regional sales managers, our reps throughout the country, or myself. We're on your side to help you structure the deal. And having what's really going on, that information will enable us to give very quick and accurate answers and help the loan close and fund. The worst thing you can do is submit a loan to us like you're playing poker, okay? Tell us what's going on. We do deals with hair on them. We just don't want to find out the hair the day before we're ready to send out the commitment. We have a very quick LOI process. Just to give you an example, one went out for $10 million last night, and the broker stuck to what we needed, and it came in at 7 p.m. East Coast time. It was out the door by 7:20 p.m., 20 minutes later. And I will tell you, on the front side, when you get an LOI from NuBridge, subject to the information you're putting on our sub form, which asks you for all the pertinent information, okay, and has all the questions that help us make a quick, accurate decision for you, it's as good as a commitment. I will tell you that right now. And here's something very unique when it pertains to speed. No appraisals on our bridge product up to a $5 million loan amount. That's on bridge only. No appraisal. 5 million and above, we need an appraisal. Okay. That is enormous. So what does that do? That not only saves time, saves your borrower thousands of dollars in expensive commercial appraisals. And I would tell you, when you start talking about expenses, you will find no more transparent lender on the commercial side nationwide than NuBridge. Why? We don't take any upfront fees. And as I like to tell people, we do a tremendous amount of work on our time and our dime prior to issuing you that LOI. And all we ask you for is some basic information. Page 1 of our app, a current rent roll, an operating expense statement, and a few lines of color of what's going on here and what you need. That's it. If there's work involved, a detailed budget with a draw schedule. If there's rehab involved. If it's a purchase, add a contract. If it's a purchase with rehab, which we provide you with the funds as well, okay, add the contract and the rehab with the draw budget, the draw schedule. So to really push bridge, we just recently, a week ago, took it to a new level altogether. And it's pretty amazing. We call it an express bridge. And you'll see on our form, the questions we ask are very, very light compared to what's the 6 we ask. There's only one question. Are there any back taxes? Just let us know. And these are for 65 or less loan to value, same loan amounts, all that good stuff, same term periods, 12, 18, and 24-month interest only. And we do offer extensions. And we have no exit fees. We have no yield requirements. So there are many other niches where sometimes you may think you have a better rate, but when you compare apples to apples, our apples are cheaper. So this Express Bridge program at 65 LTV or less on an owner occupied, because remember, our normal bridge, we can go as high as 75%. We require closing conditions, which basically equate to this: title, insurance, valuation, payoff, and entity docs. Let's close. And you can do it non-recourse with no financials on an owner-occupied property. And we offer the same thing at 60 or less LTV on investment properties. Those rates start at 7.99. It's bridge on steroids. It's a phenomenal product. That's what the $10 million loan was last night, that went out in 20 minutes. Perm program just came out, and it was part 2 of NuBridge's program. About 4 or 5 months ago, we rolled it out. Same asset classes: mixed use, multifamily, light industrial, warehouse, office, retail, self-storage. Loan amounts, though, from $500,000 to $5 million. Above would be case by case, and we'd have to review on an exception. Rates start at 5 1/8, 5, 7, 10, and even a 30-year option available with a 30-year amortization. No balloons. They become a fixed rate. After the fixed rate period, they become an adjustable. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 step down on the prepayment penalty. And as I said, rates start at 5 1/8. And speaking of pricing, our rates have not changed since we've opened. And the perm program has not changed. And obviously, we know the panic that's gone on in the last 60 to 75 days pertaining to rates. So lastly, what I'd like to leave you with is the technology segment of what we came out with and what I mentioned earlier. We rolled out, it's called a loan qualifier. You as an originator could be sitting anywhere in America where you work from, or in the world, and take a customer off the street, know you have a loan for a borrower who has a warehouse in Ames, Iowa. You enter and answer 4 or 5 questions. You put in the numbers. It takes less than 2 minutes. And it'll say, congratulations, Mike. Congratulations, your loan meets our criteria. And that is available for both the Bridge and the Express Bridge product on our website, www.nubridge.com. It's great technology. And once you're rolling with us, we also came out with what's called a broker portal. So you'll be able to upload conditions in real time at your convenience. There's no he said, she said, I didn't receive them. And this all brings us to a new phase of efficiency with technology to ensure swift, efficient, quick closings. So that's kind of the quick down and dirty on us at NuBridge Commercial Lending. I'd just like to say, I want to thank Anthony. It's been a pleasure being able to present this morning. I hope I didn't bore anyone with any gory details. I like to get right to the point and deliver the meat and potatoes. We're about helping and partnering up with originators to make them money. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you, Ed, and thank your company as well, NuBridge. Ed, ever since I met you, man, you're straight as an arrow, straight shooter. People, please, NuBridge is amazing, and they also have an ace working for them, and that's Ed. But Ed, I want to really thank you, and I want to thank your company. Ed, I know you guys are coming back for 6 months, so there's going to be a lot of great stuff coming from NuBridge, and we're really excited to hear what's new, what the new topic's going to be. And as soon as we get the new topic, we will definitely get it out there and let everybody know about all the great things, and especially a lot of clients that do work with NuBridge, and they're going to talk about the testimonials as well. All the greatness that's happening in NuBridge. This concludes our webinar. We'll be back in 15 minutes, everybody. And I want to thank you, and we'll see you with our next client, Immigrant Funding. Everybody take care. Thank you, Ed, once again, and thank your team at NuBridge. Thank you, Ed.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye-bye, everybody.